Welcome students. So now that we know about auto ignition temperature and flash point, we see that there are certain combustible substances which can burn even more easily because their ignition temperature is very low. So such substances are called inflammable substances. They can catch fire very easily. Why? Because they have very low ignition temperature. So basically you can say that inflammable substances are those combustible substances which have very low ignition temperature. So in a way all inflammable substances are combustible, but all combustible substances are not inflammable, because there are many combustible substances which have relatively higher ignition temperature. So let's look at some examples of inflammable substances. The first example is that of petrol. It has an auto ignition temperature of 232 degrees Celsius and its flash point is minus 65 degrees Celsius. So if you see, auto ignition temperature is quite high, right? 232 degrees Celsius. So that means petrol cannot catch fire on its own very easily, because it has to be heated till to a temperature of 232 degrees Celsius. But if you look at the flash point, it's extremely low. So even at room temperature, it can very easily catch fire if there is a source of ignition. So petrol is an inflammable substance. Next example of LPG. If you look at its auto ignition temperature, it's around 410 to 580 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't blast on its own. It has to be heated to this high temperature. But if you look at the flash point, again it's very low. It's minus 104 degrees Celsius, a negative value. So at room temperature, they are actually going to blast if there is a source of ignition. That is why it's always advised to check that your gas burner knob are kept off when you are not using it. Because if it's kept on, basically your LPG is going out of it in the atmosphere. And whenever it find an ignition source, maybe through a matchstick or a gas lighter or maybe through a bulb, so wherever it finds a little bit of heat or a little bit of source of ignition, it ignited and there will be a huge blast. So you can take other examples of alcohol, diesel. Even they have very low values of flash point. That means they are all examples of inflammable substances. So such substances with extremely low ignition temperature, so that they can catch fire very readily, they are called inflammable substances. So now that we have understood the concept how objects catch fire, so let's try to understand in more detail that how exactly a matchstick catches fire. We saw that friction plays a very important role in igniting a matchstick. Now let's first talk about the constituents of the matchstick. So the most important role in ignition of matchstick is played by phosphorus. It plays a leading role. Now, why phosphorus is an important constituent of matchstick? That is because of extremely reactive nature of phosphorus. If you remember when we discussed the chapter metals and non-metals, there I told you that phosphorus is an extremely reactive matter. So if it's left overexposed to air, it catches fire. So it really reacts with oxygen and catch fire. Now, how do we store phosphorus? If you remember, it's generally stored inside water because phosphorus does not react with water. So this phosphorus is an important constituent of the head of the matchstick. So now there are two types of phosphorus which exist. One is white phosphorus and other one is red phosphorus. Now white phosphorus even ignite more spontaneously in air, and it's also unstable and very much volatile and sensitive. That is why instead of using white phosphorus directly these days, red phosphorus is used in the head of the matchstick. And white phosphorus is extremely harmful also. So, considering all these advantages and disadvantages, red phosphorus is used as a constituent of the head of the matchstick. It's not only phosphorus which is present along with there. Along with red phosphorus, we also have small amounts of potassium chlorate, KClO3 and sulfur. Now, why do we have all of these together? That is because the purpose of phosphorus is to initiate the ignition, because phosphorus is extremely reactive, so it can cause the ignition. But now that ignition happens, but then it will stop immediately. So in order to have the ignition for a longer duration, that is why we have potassium chlorate, we have sulfur. So we'll see that potassium chlorate helps in releasing little more of oxygen, and that oxygen will combine with the sulfur to again cause ignition, because sulfur is also very reactive. So when it gets some extra oxygen from potassium chlorate, so it reacts with that oxygen again, and it helps to retain the ignition. So that is how your matchstick remains ignited for a longer time. So that is how the entire process happens. So there are the so these are the constituents of matchstick. So now let's look at the entire process in more detail, step by step. Now, what's the first thing we do to ignite a matchstick? We strike it, right? When we strike it, what happens? There is friction, and friction produces heat. So once this heat is produced, the red phosphorus gets heated up, and when it gets heated up, it gets converted into white phosphorus. So some red phosphorus will get converted into white phosphorus, and as I said, white phosphorus is extremely reactive. So this white phosphorus immediately reacts with the oxygen which is present in the surroundings, and a lot of heat will be generated, and we'll see the ignition. So we could see the flame in the matchstick. So now the huge amount of heat that gets generated is sufficient to break down potassium chlorate. So this potassium chlorate, it actually acts as an oxidizing agent, and it releases oxygen. So due to this heat that is generated, breaks down potassium chlorate to release oxygen, and as a result, when this extra oxygen gets released, the sulfur which is also present get quickly reacted with this oxygen to form sulfur dioxide, SO2. And during this process again a flame is produced. So that is how the flame that was initiated by phosphorus, because here also the phosphorus basically reacted with oxygen to form phosphorus pentoxide, P4O10. So during this process the fire was initiated, the flame was formed, so that flame was retained for a longer time duration um, um, by the reaction of sulfur with oxygen, and sulfur get that oxygen from potassium chlorate. So that is why we have potassium chlorate and sulfur in addition to phosphorus. So this is how exactly matchstick is ignited.